there, my name is Elytrium and welcome back to Bedrock. And as you can finally see, do have full enchanted netherite armor, finally. But also, we fixed this hole in the ground. Yes, the hole where I set off a respawn beacon because I had no idea how they work. I'm never doing that, ever again. And I'm sure you're all asking yourselves, how did I ever get enough levels to get all this enchanted gear? Not bad. Given that I've already jumped off the end with all of my gear without my elytra equipped, I wish that's what I could have done, but that doesn't work on this server. The truth is simply much more dramatic than that could ever be. See, I started down here with all of these guys, and I traded iron so that I could get emeralds and experience from them. Then I moseyed my way on up here and traded golden carrots with these guys. And then I came into here and traded for more XP and wool with these guys. And then I moseyed on over into this little room over here and traded for lanterns and bookshelves and a whole bunch of other things until I had all the experience that I needed. And after much trading, I decided that I was going to spend an eternity trading just so I could get enough experience to hook everything up. So I decided to build this Enderman farm. And you know what? It worked. It really did work. And you know what? It's not that bad either. It produces a ton of ender pearls, which I have been able to use for enchest. And look, by the time I walk over here, there's plenty of Endermen over here. It's great. It even fixes all my armor. But because I made this farm, I learned something about Bedrock Edition, and that's that there is a 10 mob cap within about a 4 chunk radius of wherever the player is standing in. That means that this farm only produces about 3 to 6 Endermen at a time, and things don't flood down like they do on Java Edition, and I don't get a lot of experience out of this because I'm limited by that mob cap. Though I will have to say, it is very satisfying taking care of all these Endermen and having all the experience transferred to inventory. It is, I could do this for a very long time. It's very satisfying. But after many hours, I eventually got all the experience I needed, which means we were now fully kitted out. However, this came with a slight conundrum. While I can get diamond armor for just about everything, while I was building this, I jumped off the end without my elytra on, and then I lost my elytra, which means I only had 1 elytra left. So our first item on our agenda today is to go raid some end cities and get some more elytra and hopefully also some more shulker boxes. And after a somewhat short, long, not really sure, I was flying for a really long time, trip across the end, I eventually stumbled across some end cities out here in the distance. And I got all the shulkers and a ton more elytra. And I may have spent some more time at the Enderman farm getting some experience. And I know that I said in my last episode I wasn't going to go around loading any new chunks, but this is the first time that I have had an elytra. And I really have no recollection of what this world actually looks like since it's been a couple of months since I loaded up for seed. So this is, for the first time for me, my first opportunity to take the elytra out and really kind of explore the whole area of the world that we've been living in. So over here is just about whereabouts. That's the second village we found when we first spawned into the world. Over here, right in front of us here on the left here is the first village at spawn. And then this little hill here over to the right, that's spawn center of the entire world. Wow. Having an elytra really puts on a different perspective, especially when you've just spawned in the world. This seemed like it was forever away, and I've died several times and respawned right here, and it feels forever away when you have to walk back to it. But having an elytra just really makes flying around so much more easier. It is the most efficient form of transportation, at least over here in the overworld. But there are a couple of things over here that I am very interested to kind of check out. While I was flying around, and I think at some point I found this massive chasm right here. And had I known that there was a mine shaft down there, do you imagine how wealthy we would be by now? Had I known that mine shaft was there? I just never saw it because I never went up this way because it's complete powdered snow. having an elytra really, really, really just opens your eyes to all the wonderful and cool things in the world. But I do also want to check out some of these mountain ranges and also go explore a little bit further to the west of our base. Ouch. See if I can navigate these chasms with an elytra. Ow. Yep, looks like I can. We'll call that navigating with an elytra, even though I kind of banged myself up a little bit. But here's our base over here. With the elytra, it doesn't feel that far away from spawn. I think I should probably set up a little ender chest there by spawn in case I ever die again. But our base area from up above is starting to shape up to be really, really cool. I do say myself, actually. I think that we've done a lot of great work in this base area, and I think that there's still a lot that we can do. We can get out from underneath this cloud cover over here, but we have a ton of space over here that we can take advantage of, an entire forest. And then over here, some more forest that we can take advantage of as well. So I definitely think there's lots of things that we can still do in this world. But the first docket on our agenda today is doing some work on this little mansion. A little mansion? Massive mansion. This place is ginormous. I've done some work over here, chiefly in adding a staircase, so we no longer have scaffolding. We look at that. Isn't that just the best thing ever? Not needing scaffolding to get up everywhere? It's great. It's fantastic. This goes all the way up to the top, gives us access to our loft area that we built up here. And we also have another staircase that goes right up here to this terrifying plunge down below. This could be a great overlook, or we could just do a couple of other crazy things up here. I haven't quite decided yet, but we have a ton of options up in this space, and I'm going to slowly kind of build this out to really develop what we want to have in here. But there has been more work done to this area. And if we move our way down here, we have reactivated our nether portal, so we have a quick and easy access to our nether hub from within the side of this building as well, in case we, don't want to go outside in the rain. But I've also dug out some space underneath this area right here. I had some thoughts about going out a little bit further, but what I really wanted to do was go down. Down, 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 down. It's not Minecraft unless you're building big mine shafts and filling it in with stuff, right? And look at this. This is the most exciting thing that I've done in a really long time. We have a ton of storage right here, and it's all sorted and it's all automated, and we have cactus. What is cactus for? Cactus is for green dye and all sorts of other things that we can do with green dye, like green terracotta and green concrete. The only way that we can get it. And you may be asking, but where did we put a cactus farm in? It's right here. Very, very, very simple cactus farm. Not a lot to this. You got a block, some sand, some cactus on top, and some fence posts placed in between a whole row of cactuses. And when those cactuses grow up, they detect that fence post is there and immediately pop off, and they get flushed down into a water stream, which then goes to our automatic sorting system and make ourselves very, very rich. But our primary goal for today's episode is to reduce our reliance upon dirty energy and coal and transform ourselves into a green energy empire. And the most efficient way I know how to do that is to produce a ton of bone meal and use that bone meal to generate kelp like there is no tomorrow. So there's only one farm I know of that'll cover all my needs for all the bone meal, and it's a farm I did a design of. So if you'd like to check that farm out, I will have a complete tutorial for that listed down in the description. But I've gone ahead and picked out this acacia biome. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it is one of my favorite biomes, even though I don't remember the name, just because I love the way it looks. I love the way the trees look. I love everything about it. But there's a giant lake here right in the center that I think could be a great spot for an industrial district. And this is where I'm going to start plopping some stuff in. And as you can see, we have pretty much all the resources that we're going to need right here around us. And we even got a nice little cozy villager over here with all of villager professions. And I just love the way that these villagers make their houses over here. I think that this is one of the more interesting and unique villages that you can come across in Minecraft. Not because of its rarity, it's so much different than everything else that you may possibly see. And we're going to go ahead and take some of this hay because I think I need it for some more target blocks. Oh, and in case you're wondering what my experience is in the nether, even with fully enchanted netherite armor, it looks a little bit something like this, which is why I put fire protection on my netherite armor. But after recovering all of my armor, we are ready to begin building our bone meal farm. So why don't you sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and let's start a time lapse. Really long build session later, we finally have ourselves a fully operational bone meal farm. Or at least I think it's fully operational. I haven't quite tested it yet. And if you're wondering, yes, I did use my own tutorial to make this. That's why I made it. Why else would I make them? But I have everything built out here. We have all of the dispensers fully primed up with some bone meal that I got from some other farms that I have and from some bones I found there in the nether. So let's go ahead and give this lever here just a little bit of a flick, and we will find out if this will actually produce everything we need. Nope, I hear things moving. There's machinery moving. Let's go ahead and pop our elytra on real quick and fly on up there and see just how well everything's working, if everything is working at all. Trick with elytra is to stick the landing with all the lag. Oh, I can feel it just a little bit. Yep, this is why I built this out here in the ocean, because oh yeah, just a little bit of lag. Yep, glad this is away from everything else, but it looks like both sides of our farm is producing. This is really good. Really good. Let's check here. Yep, stone is being generated. Moss is being grown. I see some trees. I see some seeds. That means the timing is all right. I think probably the only thing left to do is verify that the flush mechanic works. So back here in the back, if you haven't seen this farm before, got a couple buttons up here. If you're sitting here on top, or if you're at the bottom, you can just shoot that target block and it'll do it too. But all of the items just get pushed out with some water streams down into this hopper chain right here, and they just go around in a loop-de-loop ride. And wow, does this place get really loud. I promise when I have this edited that the volume will be much quieter than what I'm hearing and talking about right now, because wow, this place is really loud. And now that I've been letting the farm run for a little bit while, it looks like that hopper and that dispenser have fully filled up, and we have bone meal profit coming out of the system now. Awesome. This is incredible. I absolutely love this farm. And I've only had this running for about 5 or 10 minutes or so, and yep, we have already produced quite a bit of bone meal. Let me just kind of reorganize this real quick. Yeah, had to make some modifications to the farm while I was working on it, just from a few small things I noticed. But wow, we have a absolute ton of bone meal now. I'm gonna probably end up pausing this farm, and what I'm gonna want to do next is grab this bone meal, and I actually want to take it over to where our kelp farm is. So why can't I open this chest? Why can't I open the shulker? Oh, because it's in the way of something. Let me find something that it's not in the way of. Where can I place this? Not a lot of options, huh? Nope. Button's in the way right there too. Just get rid of the door. That's probably more convenient. All right, throw this bone meal in, and then we will take this on over to our kelp farm that we have next to our sheep and wool farm, and finally make a lot more profit there too. And over here at our kelp farm, I have just finished loading up one side at least of this. Now this is all the kelp that has been generated just while I've kind of been walking around. So we have quite a bit of everything. I've already emptied out part of it once, but let's just go ahead and speed up this process just a little bit. That right there, I say this a lot, but that is the best sound in Minecraft. Hearing things be grown. Oh wow, here, let me go ahead and get over here. That is just an absolute beautiful sight to behold right there. Look at all that kelp that's being generated. We're going to be able to smelt all of this down into kelp blocks. Those kelp blocks we will be able to use with our furnaces, and we'll be able to make just about anything with that. So I am really excited to finally have this farm up and running at its full potential. It has been a really long time since I built this, and now that I finally have bone meal, being able to run it like this is just peak perfection. And with that, I believe we have achieved our goal here today. We have gotten a ton of stuff built, and we have also built up a massive moss farm, which we'll be able to use to produce all sorts of goodies for us in future episodes. But I'm going to think that's going to be all the time there is for us today in this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking and subscribing. I really would appreciate it, as it really does help the channel. And remember, you are always welcome on Bedrock. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.